After the success of Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales, Insomniac wanted to announce something big eventually, and at the 2023 event, at the 2023 they announced Spider-Man 2 will be including eventually villains that we once liked eventually, like Venom, like Martin Lee, like Craven, and more. And it was gonna be one of the greatest games of all time, and the hype was up the roof eventually. And it was one of the most successful. It will be one of the most successful sequels to the Spider-Man franchise made by Insomniac. As Insomniac actually made some great games over the years, like Spyro the Dragon and Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's what I know. But we all know eventually that something bad was expected when the game was released. The story was shit. I mean, absolute shit. From the beginning, eventually, we've seen Sandman, eventually, and the battle between Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Peter was so weak, he could not even deflect the Sandman attacks, and he was drowned in sand. And he was so clumsy and weak, eventually, that he could not beat eventually criminals after the Sandman debacle. And even meanwhile, Miles was Kratos. He was so strong that he could beat eventually Sandman in like no spliff anyway. And the biggest problem is that despite that Miles Morales is way younger than Peter, he was like stronger than him like 1,000 times. Even after the Sandman got defeated by Miles only because Peter did not do shit eventually. And then let's see when you gameplay as Miles, he beats the shit out of criminals all over the alleyways and the streets. And then yes, we got John J. Jameson eventually at the moment. It was funny as hell, but let's continue. Throughout the story, eventually, Peter was so weak, so absolutely nothing. He was so weak in the boss fights alone, eventually. Well, he was so bad, he was so weak, he could have been dead eventually in seconds. Even if you upgraded the character eventually until the end, eventually, Peter was still weak. If you upgrade Miles, no, sir. He is not Miles Morales. No, he was Kratos in the modern age. I mean, Miles was so strong. He can beat eventually an army of criminals with a Venom punch. He even defeated Craven like nothing. Anyway, he defeated Black Suit Spider-Man like nothing. He defeated Venom like nothing. Anyway, and he even I wanted to see the battle between him and Martin Lee, but thanks to Peter's influence, I did not witness Miles Morales finish off Martin Lee as usual. I wanted the developers eventually made the worst script I've ever seen. I wanted Miles to finish Martin Lee for what he did to his father in Spider-Man. I mean, that was very embarrassing. I mean, how could the developers ruin eventually something could be so impressive eventually like finishing off Martin Lee and Peter eventually destroying the Sinister Six and more. I mean, we could want this Doc Ock out of jail, but nope. All we witnesses eventually is bad boss fights, botchy moves. Anyway, Peter became so slow and weaker eventually than a weak man. Anyway, and he was looking very sad, man. He was looking very sad, and the way he treated Harry, that is disgusting. I mean, I have never seen such a guy who tried to be Bully Maguire. You're not Bully Maguire, Peter. This is not the 2007 goated version. You're the worst version of Bully Maguire Bully Peter Parker I've ever seen. I mean, shit, Bully Maguire will whip your ass through the dust. And that's the fact. I mean, then, after the bad final boss fight, where he'll become with their anti-Venom suit, which was so weak, eventually, that you said, Harry, please! That sucked. Anyway, and Harry destroyed that exhibition that he showed Peter in the first of the game. It was could have saved everything and everyone's life, but no. You've destroyed it, all that because Peter's eventually stupid actions. Yes, you went, and that's because when Peter got the black suit actually makes eventually Harry healed. Eventually, he was sick, and the suit was making him actually, it's the only way that make him go out of his sickness. But no, his sickness increased eventually. All that because of Peter's eventually stupid actions. Why? Because Craven killed him. Craven stabbed him like crazy, man. He stabbed him, and Peter was supposed to be dead. But the suit shows Peter because he was the more injured. And then the shit goes through. Yeah. And then we have the Mary Jane mission. Oh my days. This is looking bad. It was one of the worst missions in history. I hate Mary Jane. I hate Mary Jane. Why did they not go with Gwen Stacy? I mean, I don't understand why. In fact, Mary Jane is one of the worst characters, the most toxic characters in Marvel's history, from the days of Tobey Maguire till the end. Till even nowadays, eventually through the comics. So she was a very toxic person. She doesn't care about anyone. All she cares about is herself, and that's a fact. And then after the bad game, eventually, and after the bad shit that happens, eventually, and after that, we're gonna get Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 will be more ass, if I see it eventually. And I hope that Insomniac will fix the story somehow. But nope. After that, we were announced eventually where there will be a Spider-Man verse eventually DLC eventually. But to be surprised, Sony cancelled it. Despite that is the worst idea ever. It was going to be epic. It was going to be epic. That Marvel crossover event. We could meet other characters from like Spider-Man to Spider-Verse. We could have met 2099, Spider-Man Noir, create our own Spider-Man and our timeline. But this did not happen at all. Which just sucks, by the way, eventually. It was so bad that they have cancelled eventually Carnage DLC. That sucked. Anyway. I mean, I cannot believe how cancel the content eventually, all that for the shit games like Concord or Marathon. This is bad. I mean, new game. This game Concord eventually, as I seen in a previous video about how bad this game was. Anyway, it was so bad that it ended event, and Sony got eventually in $400 million in losses. That is so bad. I mean, and Sony regretted it by increasing the prices of the PS5. And the PS5 Pro debacle failure, by the way. Well, that sucks, by the way. Sony is becoming so clumsy with their games. And their games became shittier and shittier by the years. And there is an example in front of you. And they say this game is a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, an A+. No. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's a 0 out of 10 for lack of everything. Lack of character, lack of a good story, lack of good missions, lack of character development. I mean, the only character development was good was Miles, not Peter. I mean, despite Miles supposed to be a secondary character, for me, this is not Spider-Man 2. This is Spider-Man Miles Morales 2, not Spider-Man 2, because it's all about Miles. Miles was the center. I mean, he was the strongest. He was the best Spider-Man. He beat all the bosses like it's a toy game or something. I mean, Kratos would be on the guy. If he could defeat eventually old Kratos, eventually with his powers. Believe me? Yes. And people do not believe me. Kratos is old and he could be defeated by Miles Morales. I mean, after I see the gameplay, yeah, Miles Morales got that shit. Miles could even go to the Mortal Kombat world and he could even defeat all characters, including Raiden. I mean, I cannot believe it. Insomniac made the worst Spider-Man game I have ever seen, the worst sequel to Spider-Man. I am really, and the PS5 fanboys say, but the Spider-Man 2 is a good game. No, it's not a good game. It's a shit game, and you wasted your money on. Well, I hope you like the video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for your wait, because I was busy eventually doing my exams. And I hope you guys see you soon in other videos. Thank you and peace out.